Hey there, it's Mr. Herman back with another video. This time we're going to be talking about the empirical rule and some basics of the empirical rule. Right above the video you can see a link to a handout that is this handout right here, and you can use that while you're working with me. Print it out, it's got these graphs on it already that make it much easier to work with. So the first question is essentially, here's the information we're given. It says the distribution of heights of adult American men is approximately normal with a mean of 69 inches and a standard deviation of 2.5 inches. It's not always going to give you this information, as you might have noticed from the other video, the one right next to it that's called empirical rule examples, or how to using the empirical rule. It's to the left of this one, but this one is a little easier actually than that one. It starts off more basic. So the first question says, what percent of men are taller than 74 inches? Let's remember a few things here. First off, that the empirical rule is the 68, 95, 99. Now remember that some people go at 99.7. But we're going to use 99 as a basis in this class just because it's a 7th grade class and it's not a college class or a high school class or whatever. After that, now, the main thing we want to look at is what percent of men are taller than 74 inches. So we got to first draw our graph. So you start with the graph here. I have this one right here. You can use the same one. We start with the mean in the middle. I tend to draw these lines going down to show you the standard deviations. And you can't really see the third one, but it's kind of on the end here. So the mean goes in the middle. The mean 69 inches in the middle, and then you add 2.5 inches going to the right, and to subtract 2.5 inches going to the left. So put those amounts in. That's 71.5, 74, and 76.5 inches. And then over here, this way would be 66.5, 64, and 61.5 inches. Now our question says, how many men are taller than 74 inches? Well, that's the small amount we have right here. That's this little bit taller than 74. It's right inside this little spot here. Kind of yellow there for you to see it a little better. So that little spot there, there's a few ways you could do this. I would probably say, remember it's symmetrical. So since it's symmetrical, that means that half the day is on this side and half's on this side. So I would say that 50% is over here. And over here, this isn't 50% because we're taking some away here. So what I would do is I would probably say, well, I know that within 2 standard deviations, which is from here to here, there's 95% of the data. If that's 95%, then take 95 and divide by 2 to get this whole side, including the yellow. So take 95 divided by 2, and that gives you 47.5. But that actually doesn't give you half, I'm sorry, it gives you just to here, just this part here. Not including that yellow part, because it's only the 2 standard deviations. So this is 47.5 right here, not including that yellow. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can see that the difference is going to be 2.5 here, or add these together and get 97.5. These two equal that, and this equals the balance to equal 100%. So take 100% minus 97.5 to get 2.5%. So this first one is 2.5%. The next one is between what heights do the middle 95% of men fall? Well, that would be, we can even use this one to do that, but we'll still make a new graph here. So make it down. 95 is in 2 standard deviations, so I'm not going to label the third one for this one. So again, the mean goes in the middle. And then I'll go to 74. And over here, 66.5 and 64. So 95% of men fall between these two amounts here, because 95 is 2 standard deviations. So it's between 64 inches and 74 inches. The last one says, what percent of men are shorter than 66.5 inches? So again, we got to label these. Mean in the middle. 1 standard deviation down, 2 and 3, and then up 1, 2, and 3. So labeling again. To the right, you're going to see this is really not necessary because it's asking about 66.5, so I'm going to go this way instead. 66.5 and then 64. We're looking this time at finding out what percent of men are shorter than 66.5, which is going to be anybody that's in this range here. So again, I could use the idea that it's symmetrical. Okay, it's symmetrical. I know that half the data is over here, so from the middle, this is 50% here. And then in the middle here, ignoring this 50 for right now, this middle is 68%. That's the first two standard deviations. So this is 68%, yet I only want half. I want this half over here. This half is then 34% because it's half of 68. See how 68 would be the whole thing? This is 34 on this side, 34 on that side. I want to know what this yellow is, so I'm going to take 100 minus 50 minus 34 to get this part right here. And that's 16. This is 16%. And again, that's a empirical rule basics to give you some idea how it's going to work. We'll be doing this on Tuesday in class.